So this is what I want to talk to you about. I want to share 5 thoughts that I feel like if you were to stay focused on these 5 thoughts, if I were to stay focused on these 5 thoughts, when our heart stops beating, and all of our hearts only have so many beats assigned to it, when our heart stops beating, I really believe that if we were to have done these 5 things, when someone says our name, our legacy, the way people remember us, it will be held in high esteem. Here's number 1. The routines we have with people we love. The routines we have with people we love. Now, if you're anything like about 85% of the world, we have a tendency to treat people we love with less affection than we feel for them. In other words, I love my dad, I love my wife, I love my children. I love my children more than I love myself. But because they're so common to me, they're in my life, a lot of times just in the routine of life, I'm not expressing my full love. And it's really unrealistic to think that we're able to express it the way we want to all the time. Life is fast. It's got a lot of pressures. It's got a lot of stress. But this is the routine I want to inspire you on. If we were to do one thing every single week, just one time a week, one thing that we want to be remembered for, by the end of the year, we will have done that one thing 52 times. I don't have a calculator next to me, so I can't multiply 52 times doing it for 10 years. But let me give you an example. So my daughter is 14 years old, and so she's in that season, that age where I really think that she knows everything. Or let me say it this way. I think she thinks she knows everything. She's in that place where she's not a woman yet, but she's almost there. And so we have a lot of discussions, if you will, about Presley, you can't do that. Presley, you can't. No, yes. I mean, there's some arguing going on. But I've got I've got an awesome relationship with her. She's my firstborn. But here's the thing. Amidst all the arguing, amidst all the debating, if I were to have a date night with her once a week, and I have been doing this, but I've been kind of inconsistent. But if I can get back to being consistent and I can have a date night with her every Sunday night at Sonic, when my heart stops beating, regardless of how many times I've said things that I wish I could take back, regardless of how many times I made a mistake, she will always remember that her dad made time for her and took her out every Sunday night. And so I want to say, hey, look, we can't have a weekly date with everybody in our life that's significant. At the top of my list is my lovely wife, who is my best friend, and I still have a crush on. After 17 years, I still have a crush on her. So if anybody's going to get a weekly date night, it's going to be her. And her and I do have a weekly date night, except we miss it a lot. I've got to get back to doing that every single Monday night. But here's the deal. We can't have a date night with everybody that's significant. I can't have coffee with my dad every single week. Maybe I can, maybe I can't. But you got my point. You probably have about 5 to 10 people that are incredibly significant to you, and you can't meet with them every single week. But can you say a statement to them every single week? Can you coin a statement that you can say to them every single week? I have a son who is 12 years old. No, he's 11. Sorry, he's 11 years old. And I look at him from time to time and I say, hey, Luke, you're my 2.0, buddy. You're my 2.0. You're the upgraded version of me. Hey, Luke, you're just like me, except better. If I say that over and 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 over again, when I die, when my heart stops beating, he will remember that statement for the rest of his life. And so my challenge is this. Let's pick out 4 or 5 people that we want to make sure that when they say our name, they will remember us in a positive light. They will remember us with affection and build some routines. Number 2, what is most important to you? In this world, what is most important to you? So for me, what's most important to me is me spending quality time in prayer with God, regardless of whether it's 2 minutes, 22 minutes, an hour, 2 hours. Sometimes I pray 2 hours in a day. Sometimes I pray far less than that. But I pray every day. The other thing that's very important to me personally is exercising. Exercising is important to me. Getting out on the road and running, not necessarily lifting weights, but getting out on the road and running. And then obviously being productive while I'm working is very important to me. When I die, when I look back, I want to look back and say, while I was at work, I was productive. Monday through Friday, I was productive. When I preached on Sunday morning, I was productive. I exercised. I stayed in shape. I spent time with God. These things were very important to me. So here's the thought. What's most important to you should receive the greatest priority. Number 3, support a cause that is important to you. Find a cause that you can be passionate about. Obviously, the local church, in my opinion, is the hope for the world. We're the one that introduces Jesus Christ to people. So I am all the way in with the local church. Even if I wasn't a senior pastor, I would be all the way in with the local church for that reason. Maybe for you, it's something more along the lines of Elijah Rising, which if you're not familiar with that non-for-profit, I want to encourage you to look it up. It's elijahrising.org. Maybe sex trafficking fires you up. You find yourself getting incredibly angry or incredibly sad. It's easy to figure out what you're passionate about because it either makes you really angry or makes you really sad, or it makes you really, really happy when you think about it and you find yourself wanting to throw your life into it. So figure out what organization, what cause can you get passionate about. Number 3, be generous. Generous people are never forgotten. Generous people are never, ever forgotten. Now, here's the challenge. Be generous without reciprocity. Be generous with people that cannot give back. And then here's the other thing. Be generous without announcing it. If you announce it, you have just received your fullest reward. But if you don't announce it, if you don't tell other people how generous you just were, I personally believe that your greatest reward is yet to come. Number 5, split-second unselfishness. There are moments where you have a split-second decision on whether or not you want to be selfish or unselfish. I'll give you an example. I was sitting on my couch. It's about 7 o'clock in the evening. Our kids are doing homework. We're winding up. We're ready to go to bed. And I'm on the couch. I'm watching ESPN. I'm flipping back and forth from channel to channel, which is what men love to do. We love to just surf, not really watch anything, but just surf, right? Just surf from channel to channel. Just let our day unwind. But I was sitting there and I thought to myself, there are dishes in the sink. And I thought, you know what? Tonight's not my night. And I started laughing because does that mean that it's my wife's night? Is that what that means? And I just thought, okay, I could sit here and my wife will do it and not say a word, or I can get up and do it. Another example is my wife asked me to bring our youngest daughter, Kate, to school. And I thought, I have got the fullest day tomorrow. I do not have time to bring her to school. If I bring her to school, I've got to rearrange almost my entire morning. And so I could fight with her. I could, bicker, go back and forth. And I just thought to myself, you know what? This is a split second of unselfishness. A split second. We usually have a split second, 0.2 seconds, less than that, maybe a nanosecond in that moment of choosing what we want to do versus what would be unselfish. And so let's get good at being unselfish. And let's also be good at being unselfish without publicly acknowledging how unselfish we're being at that moment. And I think, in fact, I know if we focus on those 5 things, it doesn't necessarily mean we are uprooting our whole life and changing our schedule. These 5 things are simple, but they're memorable, and they will help us leave a legacy. That's all I have to say for today. But before I sign off, let me say this. Everyone spends eternity somewhere. Make sure you're ready. And secondly, go live an outstanding life. Be outstanding. The difference between good and outstanding is giving just a little bit extra effort. Just a little bit extra effort shifts the needle, moves the needle from good to outstanding. Until next time, talk to you soon. Ciao.